Hey guys, we're talking about rotations today. Rotations are our turns. We're spinning the wheels, right? So we're turning. We have 90 degrees, 180, 270, and then full circle brings us back 360 to our original spot. When we rotate, we preserve congruence, so it's going to stay the same size, same shape, but we're changing orientation and location. So orientation is the direction it's facing, so we're going to see our vertices end up in different spots. Really important to watch out for that, okay? So let's look at some of these rules. When it's a 90-degree rotation, we start, remember, all of our points, we're just representing it as X, Y. That just tells us where we start. Okay, so that's our original or the pre-image. Okay, and then the rule is telling us what changes, right? So with our 90-degree rotation, we went X, Y, we swap our X and Y, and we change the sign on X. When we go 180, so that's like halfway around, right? We are going to just change the signs. So remember, it doesn't mean that we're ending up negative values. It means we change the sign from the original. Okay, so if the original was negative, in the image, it will be positive. If this is positive, then it ends up negative. Okay, so those negatives are just telling us the opposite of the original. Change the signs. When we have 270 as our rotation, we're going to swap X and Y. So they swap positions and we change the sign of Y. And 360, that just takes us right back where we started. Okay, so knowing those rules, how it behaves, if you ever get stuck, you could always take points and plug it in and see if that's what happened. Okay, so a rotation is a transformation that turns a figure about a fixed point. We're focused on the origin. It could be any point, but right now in our lives, we are focused on the origin. Okay, the angle of rotation is the number of degrees the figure rotates. So that 90, 270, 180, right? All right, so let's look at what this means a little bit deeper. So rotation, 90-degree rotation clockwise. So that means think of how a clock turns, right? So clockwise means we're going around this way, okay? 90 degrees is that right angle, so we're going around like that. Okay, so just all these images. What that means for our picture is I should be able to take any point on the pre-image and the image, and if I draw a line to the origin, and then from the origin to the image, that creates a 90-degree angle, okay? And I could do that from A to A prime, it would be 90 degrees. From C to the origin to C prime, that would also be 90 degrees, okay? So we have our pre-image and we have our image, and talking about how that changes, right? Well, I can go and I can look at my graph because I have the picture. This becomes 4, -1. B prime is 1, -1. And C prime is 3, -4. Which is what our rule is showing us, right? So the X values swapped places with the Y values swapped places with the X's, right? So we have the big switch up happening, and the X value, it was 4, now it's -4. It was 1, now it's -1. It was 1, it was -1, right? And that's what this is telling us. So we have our pre-image to our image. And what this means is just swap X and Y and change the sign of X. Okay, that's what that means. It doesn't mean that it ends up negative. It just means swap the sign, change the sign. So they swap locations, change the sign of X. So 180 degrees, this is halfway around when we're going through. What this looks like if I connect my original with its image, that is 180 degrees. Okay, so we have our pre-image. Those are the points for that, and our image. This time I could go to the graph, but I'm going to go to our rule right here. It says we start with x and y. So that's the original 1, 4, 1, 1, 4, 3. Those are my starting points, right? And then here, this says take the opposite. Right? So x and y still in the same spot, but I want x and y to be opposite signs. So from what they started as. So 1, 4 becomes -1, -4. And if I go look at A prime right here, -1, -4, okay? B should be -1, -1, sorry, B prime. And C prime should be -4, -3. And I can go check B prime -1, -1, and C prime -4, -3. Okay, so thinking about what all that means, we have 270 degrees. So 270 degrees, I go to the origin, and I'm actually going to draw it like this. So 270 degrees is the same, clockwise is the same as going 90 degrees counterclockwise, but this big angle that way, traveling all the way that way, is 270 degrees. Okay, if I were to go counterclockwise, so against what a clock travels, that is 90 because 270 plus 90 gets me the full circle. Okay, but we're focused on the clockwise. So there we are. We have our pre-image and then what changes, right? And again, if we look at the rule, so look at our rule. Our x and y are swapping places, and the y changes signs. Okay, so swap places. I have x, y, so now it goes y, x, swap places, change the sign of y. So -4, 1. And if I go check A prime, -4, 1, there it is. Okay, all right, with B to B prime. So swap, change the sign of y. -1, 1. That works. C to C prime. Swap, change the sign of y. Okay, so we swap and change the sign of y. All right, and then our last one is 360 degrees clockwise. 360 degrees, guys, that's going all the way around. Notice we end up right back where we started from. Everything matches up. Just checking that we understand what a full circle is. If you look at the rule, x to x, y to y. Okay, everything matches up. So those are our rotations. Now we're going to see what you can do with it.